Blitz Ellsworth, and we're going to go through some questions. Let's see, just to start off, what's been the favorite live track for you to play from your live set of Ironbound?
Well, we're only doing 3. We're doing the Green and Black, the title track Ironbound, and Bring Me the Night. Probably for me, Ironbound.
Ironbound
at this point, but it's always exciting to play new stuff, because we've been around for so long that when you load it up with the old stuff, I hear that shit in my sleep.
A little bit more refreshing to have a change of pace and,
absolutely,
and check it up a bit. All right, how did you team up with E1 Entertainment for the release of Ironbound?
We're self-managed bands, so we always keep our finger on the pulse. We like to know who is doing the metal, who's doing it correctly. We had experiences with them when they were Koch Records out of New York, and had changed to E1. Originally started our negotiations with Koch, but the idea was they became really one of the biggest independents when they became E1. We had signed already with a company overseas called Nuclear Blast for the rest of the world. And we thought, hey, not keep our eggs all in one basket, but split it up. Another management decision. And then put 2 people in the responsible position. Because the band's responsibility is to say, hey, deliver a great record. Their responsibility is to bring that record to the people that want to hear that
distribution record. And make sure everything's in line. And
so E1 is, they're one of the biggest independent distributors, if not the, in the States. And their campaign with regard to promotion has been fully viral on this, and I think it's helped immensely with regard to our profile.
All right, hell yeah, awesome. All right, you've got quite an entourage for this current tour. Which of the bands that you're playing with is surprising you the most in terms of their live stage presence and their feel and what hits you?
I like Evile. I like Evile.
Oh, yeah.
I was already a Vader fan and knew what they were all about. But Evile surprised me a lot, especially after losing the bass player last year. Who had passed away. Earlier this year, actually. Very early this year. And they came out with Ferocity. And I really think that they have something special.
To come back from something like that.
But still, no doubt in my mind, the best opener or direct support is Vader, and they have the most experience, and it's obvious. They can command a crowd.
Hell yeah. Let's see. Going off a little bit different direction, what are your thoughts in Metallica's change of sound since the release of the Black album?
Geez, that's an old question. That's we're talking all the way back in the '90s, so it's not even current. It's like, what are my thoughts over the last 17 fucking years? You have a gang. One of the things, just to sum it up really slightly, I remember on one of the early Metallica demos that their goal was world domination. They've obviously accomplished that. I think probably the most incredible feat that they've ever done as a band, or any band has ever done, is that they've reinvented what pop music is. Prior to this, pop music was what you would hear on the MTV Top 10. And now it actually, to some degree, has credibility. And so in my opinion, I'm not a Metallica hater. I say, wow, now that's a fucking accomplishment. That is like splitting the atom.
With what they've done to the music landscape and the business landscape. Hey, when you are in between your tour dates, what do you do to occupy your time out on the road, or what
on the road?
You?
Well, obviously we all carry computers. It's the age of technology. There's internet on the bus. I run some other businesses and keep active in them. What I do for fun is I really like to walk and see cities. When we're in, if we have a day off, I get a map. Or I print something out on MapQuest, and I just head out. That's one of my things. I especially love doing it in Europe, exploring these old kind of castles, and you can find old catacombs and cemeteries, and really weird stuff. Take some pictures, and boom, it's over to the wife already at home. So that's a lot of fun for me. Doing that, staying active, and keeping involved in my other businesses.
Cool. What kind of other business you got going on?
Pornography and guns.
Excellent. Cowboys and truckers with guns. Awesome. Let's see. Now let's talk philosophy, change of pace. Do you believe each person has a purpose in life? If so, what is yours?
I do believe that. I think it's obviously all one big working entity. I think the best way to understand it is that I'm not the machine, but a small, integral part of that machine. And I think that gives me perspective with regard to how big the machine actually is. I think it's necessary to have me there as it is to have you, as it is to have you who are watching. And that if you can minimalize it to be a small, integral part, whether it be a nut or a bolt, you're still necessary to make it all run. So that's really my philosophy. Is it keeps it grounded, keeps it smaller. This way I don't have to think big. I don't have to split the atom or reinvent pop then.
I still get by and make some badass music and jam some crowds.
Well, exactly, and live my life the way I'd like to, because it really clears thought for other things.
And focus on your strengths and deliver that to the universe and the world.
Well, I think the biggest problems people have with regard to personality and characteristics of themselves is that the world doesn't revolve around them. As soon as you take yourself out of that and you become part of that world, it's a hell of a lot less pressure.
That's awesome. That is awesome. All right, what social issue in the U.S. or in any other country, for that matter, bothers you the most, and why?
The social issue that would bother me the most right now is healthcare. I work for myself, and I just said I have some other businesses, so it has nothing to do with me, except to, obviously I'll get a bill every year.
A huge one at that.
and once again, we're in a situation where Democrats are running the country, and I think the problem is that for a guy who works for himself, that government becomes bigger, and the Democrats are elitists, and they think the rest of us can't think for ourselves. And so you go out, so they have to think for us, but they're so goddamn separated from us because they're elite that they don't understand what it is to walk on these sidewalks and to work for yourself and to scratch and claw.
In reality.
The reality of it. It's like when Al Gore and Leonardo DiCaprio get together. It's like putting two of the biggest balloon heads in the world talking about global warming, saying that we should take bicycles to work and wipe our ass with one sheet of toilet paper to save the Brazilian rainforest. First of all, there is no goddamn transportation here to go to work on a regular basis unless you're in a major city. And we can't do it with dirty asses. And neither are they.
Or be a slime trail otherwise.
Hey, look it, man. Al Gore wants every business that creates pollution to have a carbon footprint. I mean, this is his new thing. You know who owns the most stock in that fucking company? Al Gore owns the most stock. So it's a very elite way of thinking. I like to a very large degree, except for some social issues, for Republicans to be in power, because I do work for myself, and their government is always smaller.
Absolutely. This isn't on the sheet. What would your leanings be? More libertarian or more Democrat? Or Republican, rather?
Well, I'm more of a libertarian. I mean, because obviously I have a heart too. And I get to see the world. And I get to see, for instance, what this recession has done to the American public. I mean, we went through Detroit on this tour, and the doors have been opening early every night. They're opening at 6 o'clock. Well, at 6 o'clock, the place is full. Which is weird. Usually it starts filling up around 8 or 9, even if the doors are open at 6. Which means there's a hell of a lot of people out of work. I mean, there's a whole bunch of guys standing around with not a lot to fucking do.
Needing to escape and get...
Gotta go somewhere. Gotta do fucking something. I mean, and that city's turning into just... it's turning into a fucking third world country. And it's... it's a shame that the understanding and the reality are two different things. The reality hits home. The understanding of it is, we'll climb out of this. We'll go to Detroit. It's a little bit different. It's like 24% unemployment.
Wow.
I mean, you're thinking of that 24 unemployed out of every fucking 100. I mean, these are your neighbors, your sons, your daughters, etc.
That's crazy. I didn't realize it was that high.
Go lend the fucking banks more money, and the fucking people in Detroit are getting a red up the ass.
Awesome. All right, now another change of pace. I'll give you a scenario, and you give me your first response, or reaction, or whatever. All right, you're on your tour bus, and you see a broken-down car with a family in it, and no help for miles on either side of the road. What do y'all do?
Well, probably, first and foremost, I'm sleeping, so I'm probably not going to see that. You're asking me would I stop and help. Is it part of my eternal makeup? Of course it is. Of course it is. It's not a...